Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Dear students of class 6th, welcome back. Currently, we are discussing the chapter What, Where, How, and When. These four elements are those which we try to understand under the concept of history. Yesterday, we were discussing about the invasions that were the result of the travel. Moving forward, so what were the major wars that took place? Where the major kingdoms located? So let us say you have the Ganga river that flows Jahlim and the tributaries of Indus that you know. The region the region surrounding the Ganga river, you had the Magda kingdom, and Magda kingdom was one of the largest traditional kingdoms of that time. You have Indus Valley, which was nearly 4700 years ago. So you have Indus Valley civilization which were developed at that time. Then you have Ganga civilization or the regions close to Ganga that developed around 2500 years ago. So you have different time periods where civilization took place in various areas. So that is what we study under wire. The next is the names of India. India is derived from the word Sindhu, which is a Sanskrit word. When Iranians and Greeks invaded India, they called India as Hindos or Indos. And finally, the name Bharat comes from Rig Veda. So, the people who lived in the northwest who read Rig Veda considered this region as Bharata. Now, the next important question is how. So, we have understood what, why. The next important question comes how. How can we find out what was in the ancient times? So, there are three basic things that we go for. The first is the manuscripts, that is the documents which are written by hand. Now, to describe the manuscripts, the first important thing is you must be aware of that scripts. You must be aware of that scripts. So, let us say in Egypt there was a area called Rosetta area of Egypt, and there was an inscribed stones which contain inscriptions in three different languages. One was Greek and other two were Egyptians. In that language you had L, which means lion, and a bird for A. So you have to identify first what kind of language it is, and these manuscripts in ancient times were written either on the bark of the bark tree or on the palm leaves, and these palm leaves were tied together. Most common languages in the Indian peninsula when we see was the Sanskrit, Prakrit and Tamil. So most of the manuscripts you would find either in Sanskrit, Prakrit or Tamil. Now, Sanskrit was the language of the scholarly. Prakrit was considered as the language of common people at that time. Next is inscriptions. Inscriptions are those which are inscribed on hard surfaces. It can be a stone, it can be a metal, or it can be a baked clay. all kinds of inscriptions that were seen, writings on the hard surfaces, and these writings were again in the form of some scripts. The script could be either letters or signs that were used. And finally is archaeology. So archaeology is things made and used in the past. So let us say if you are digging and you may find a kind of small pot or a piece of rock, you can intensify what kind of utensils people used in ancient times, which kind of lifestyle they had, what kind of working area or living area they had. So all those are explored by archaeologists. So archaeologists are the people who mainly excavate the areas and find out the results based on those. Now, bones of the animals are also important idea to find what people ate, and this is again what is studied under archaeology. So, how is another important question which we discuss. This is all about today. Stay home, stay safe. Assalamu alaikum.